Welcome to 60 Skills. We'll now discuss what does an hour of practice look like. All right, a lot of people ask me, how should I structure a practice of a given thing? It's actually a really good question, and most people don't put significant amount of thought into this. If I'm working with a particular energy, say one of the letters of the Kabbalah, typically what I'll do during an ideal practice session, and this doesn't happen all the time, is I'll perform 15 minutes of lying down out-of-body projection where I project into that letter or that energy stream and take a look around. Then I'll perform 15 minutes of seated practice because seated practice is mostly qualitative with a little bit of quantitative. So basically what this means is it's mostly information, but there is a little bit of a power aspect to it. This helps bring the energy more fully down into the body, mostly into the mental realm. Then after that, I will perform 15 minutes of standing or posture-driven exercise. This brings the energy much more firmly down into the astral and into the physical. It still has a little bit of qualitative or a little bit of information type value to it. And then I'll finish by performing 15 minutes of moving meditation. I personally prefer the walking exercises. Other people may prefer to run an energy through a given long form in the martial arts, such as a Tai Chi form, through some kind of moving breath retention methodology like troll core, or say the various asanas in hatha yoga, or any other kind of physical discipline. I even knew one guy who would do this by picking up a sledgehammer in his backyard and slamming it into a rubber truck tire. Again, whatever floats your boat. But generally speaking, as you go from lying flat on your back, you go from a purely qualitative or information-based relationship with a given energy to vigorously moving, which is almost entirely a quantitative or power-generated relationship to the energy. By doing this, it ends up moving the energies fully through all of your bodies. All the way, in theory, if you can get there from the non-dual light level, down to the Akashic level, down to the mental level, down to the astral level, and then to the vital or physical or material worlds. By doing this way, you ensure a clean transmission of that energy through the various levels of reality, and it greatly enhances your ability to work with it. Most interestingly, by grounding these things into the physical via a vigorous activity, it also makes it easier to elevate that energy to its more refined forms. Again, quite curious, but this is one of the reasons why clairsentience and working with energies in a physical manner tends to result in the fastest progression. Again, you need energy to have something to transmute into its higher expressions. So if you haven't generated a lot of energy, it's not going to leave you a whole lot to transmute with, and this is going to greatly slow your progression. Additionally, by working with things in the physical world, you build ligament, tendon, and fascia tissue, and you integrate that tissue. That, in turn, again, makes it easier to transmute energy from a raw form into its more refined forms. Now, depending upon your physical limitations, you may simply have no choice in how you engage these things. That said, by breaking up an hour of practice into those 15-minute blocks, you are in fact ensuring that you cover all of the major portions or methods by which energy can be transmuted. In turn, this makes your efforts far more efficient. So again, an hour of practice ideally consists of 15 minutes of lying and doing out-of-body projection, 15 minutes of seated work, 15 minutes of standing work, and 15 minutes of moving work. Let us begin.